Are you fed up with playing against the French on water maps, and would you like a counter for it? Farmman Official here, and welcome to this Age of Empires 4 build order using the English civilization designed to help counter the French Feudal Rush with the Hulk ship. The Hulk ship is incredibly strong, and the fact that the French get this in Feudal Age has been a problem on water maps. It gives them a really good advantage. But in this game and this build order, we're going to try and negate that advantage by attacking them earlier. It's a bit of a high risk, high reward strategy, and the idea is that we're going to build the council hall on their island. This particular demonstration is taking place on the map Archipelago, but it works just as well on Warring Islands. Just so we don't miss too much of the demonstration, to start things off, as usual, we queue up villagers in our town centre, and the first 6 villagers waiting there will gather food from sheep. The first villager to come out from the town centre will build a house, and then a mining camp, and then go to gold. After that, 6 villagers will go to wood, building a lumber camp. Once the lumber camp is built, you'll research forestry. So, now that we're all caught up, more about the strategy. We will be taking 7 villagers in a transport ship across to your opponent's island. And once you've found a safe place to land, the villagers will build an outpost, a barracks. You'll train vanguard man-at-arms, and then you'll start building the council hall. The outpost is great for the English because it gives them an extra 25% attack speed, and of course the villagers themselves can defend themselves somewhat. They can fire arrows rather than using knives. And because they've got this little range bonus, hopefully you should be able to stave off any push on this landing. Once the council hall is built, of course we will be training longbowmen and spearmen for the barracks, because of course the thing we're worried about with the French is if they go for the School of Cavalry landmark. Because of that, they'll be able to produce some knights, so having spearmen will be really useful. If for instance you're playing another civ and not the French, you can continue to produce the vanguard man-at-arms and longbowmen, and this is incredibly potent, for example in an English mirror match. Now that we've got 6 villagers on wood, the next villager to come out from the town centre will go to build a dock, a house, and then go to gold. Just bear in mind guys, with the wood villagers, try and keep the villagers chopping the same tree just so that you can get as much early wood as possible. You don't want them to waste the time on the 10-second animation that it takes to chop down the tree before it gathers any wood. Now the next villager from the town centre will go to help build the dock, and then we'll go to the shorefish. After this, take your villagers from underneath the town centre to go to the shorefish as well. And from here, the new villagers from the town centre will go to shorefish. Once the dock has been built, train a fishing ship and send that fishing ship forward as soon as possible. We really want that early scouting to find out where our opponent's island is, and we want a safe place to land. Look for wood, because when you land and the villagers have built what they needed to, they will become lumberjacks. Once the fishing ship has been built, we will click to make a transport ship. In this transport ship, we will take our scout and 7 villagers. So I really like this strategy, and it's worked quite well for me so far. It really catches your opponent unawares. Often they won't expect this kind of landing. But if you're worried about facing this yourself, it's important to keep your scout on the shoreline, just to keep an eye out if your opponent's landing you. So now that we've got our villagers in the transport ship, we've taken our scout over, we keep getting villagers to go to the shorefish. And once we've found out a safe place to land, that's exactly what we do. So we've found our opponent's dock, and now we really want to take our villagers across. The main thing you want to find really is their town centre, because you don't want to land right across from their town centre in range or anything like that. You want to try and be as hidden as possible actually. In this case, it's a bit of a tricky one. I think they probably see us, but hopefully either they weren't paying attention, or we might just get away with it and be able to produce our buildings as soon as possible to stop them from pushing it back. So we're going to land around about here on the left side, and we can see nice wood there for us to gather later on. So once we've landed, first things first, we'll build an outpost which gives us some stability, and then we'll take some of the villagers to build a barracks. Okay, so the scout sees us. We don't need to attack it just yet really with the villagers, we just need to get the buildings up. That's probably more important than just one scout. Now in terms of the new villagers from the town centre, as we said, they're all going to go to Shorefish until we hit about 13 or 15 on food. The way you decide what number you want, 13 or 15, depends on what you're up against. If you're up against an English mirror, for instance, where you're going to go man-at-arms and longbowman, it's probably best to get 15 on food before you transition to wood. If, however, you're playing against the French like we are here, we're going to get 13 on food and then build spearmen. This is because spearmen actually cost less food than man-at-arms. Don't forget to build a house with the gold villager. We'll always use the gold villagers to build houses in this build order. So now that we've got the barracks up, we're training man-at-arms, as you can see. We've got 2 in the queue, and we've started to build our council hall. Once the council hall is built, we go to build a lumber camp to gather some further wood. And as soon as the council hall is built, of course, we will train longbowmen. Once we do hit feudal age, we will also look to build a blacksmith as soon as possible and get the siege engineering upgrade. We want to get some rams, but of course, in the meantime, we need to get a strong foothold by making sure we have enough units of spearmen and longbowmen. And don't forget as well, the initial fishing ship that you used to scout, take that home and it can be very useful to help you gather food. Keep your army active if you can. It doesn't look like our opponent's attacking us just yet, so we might as well try and cause some pressure on their dock. Now we are transitioning to get spearmen, because of course we're worried about knights. Right, so now that we hit 13 on food, we're going to now start to send the new villagers from the town centre to wood. And we've got quite a decent amount of army now, so we can feel confident that this should work quite well. And we're now going to build the blacksmith and then look to get siege engineering and build some rams. Don't forget to build houses by using villagers from gold. And so far so good. Try and keep up constant production if you can. And as you can see, hopefully, with the villager count rising on wood, we will be able to build some rams. But as you can see, look, have a look. There are knights involved and a couple of spearmen, but our numbers now are very good. And we've got the hard counters here. We've got spearmen and longbowmen. This is exactly what we need. So guys, this pretty much completes the build order, but there are some adaptations. Let's talk about those. So, if we're not playing against the French, say we're playing an English mirror match, instead of spearmen, you probably want to stick on with man-at-arms. In which case, as we said earlier, we continue to produce villagers to go to the Shorefish until we reach 13 on food before going to wood. If we're going for man-at-arms, I'd leave about 15 on food before going for wood. Additionally, we may need to get a couple more villagers on gold because of course man-at-arms cost gold. But a man-at-arms, longbowman, ram rush can be equally successful and strong if you're not playing against the French. Hope you enjoyed this build order guide, and if you did, do give the video a like as it really helps the channel. If you'd like to see more build orders like this, do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can keep up to date with the new build orders that I release. If you'd like to see the other build orders that I have on the channel, click the right end card screen now to see the full playlist of build orders that I have. Take care guys, and see you next time.